Pep Guardiola's Manchester City and Ryan Mason's Tottenham Hotspur. There was a lot of shock last week when Spurs decided to sack Jose Mourinho just a week before today's cup final. But will it work in their favour? It's a big day for Tottenham today. They're going up against Manchester City, who are notoriously known for winning this Carabao Cup over the last few years, aren't they? Pep Guardiola seems to love this tournament. This tournament, complete different circumstances to the last few years. Obviously, the final date was pushed back to April rather than the usual February due to COVID reasons. But yeah, before I get into the team news and everything else ahead of this game, here's just a reminder of today's sponsors, OneFootball. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball, and if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. So, of course, there we have it. If you haven't already got OneFootball, I suggest you go and check it out. It is a magnificent app, and I've used it today for all the team news and everything surrounding this football match. I'm just praying today for an entertaining game between Manchester City and Spurs. Both not, the best team to watch in isolation, but it's a cup final, so it's a complete different game. We're in for a complete different spectacle, and obviously Manchester City were knocked out the FA Cup by Chelsea last weekend, so their hopes for a quadruple have been totally blown out the water, and their sights will firmly be on getting this competition and this trophy done and dusted now, so that they can concentrate on getting over the line in the league and the Champions League as well. They're into the semi-final of that, of course, too. Let me know in the comments whether you think City will go on and do the treble. Obviously, Manchester United's draw to Leeds in the game prior to this one has meant that Manchester City are now just 2 wins away in the Premier League from confirming the Premier League title once again. But as I say, let me get into the team news without further ado. So for Manchester City, who are the home side on the day today at Wembley, it's good to see as well, isn't it? Fans back in the stadium, slowly getting back to normality. There was 4,000, I believe, for the semi-final of the FA Cup between Leicester and Southampton. Today, I believe it's double that. It's 8,000. And it's really good to see, normality kind of in some kind of way, and some fans today will be able to see their side lift the Carabao Cup, whether that be Manchester City fans or Spurs fans. We'll find out in just over 90 minutes. But for Manchester City, they've gone within goal, of course, their cup goalkeeper Zach Steffen. Kyle Walker plays right back for City today. Diaz and Laporte is the centre-back pairing. That is forced, of course, due to John Stones' suspension after his red card against Aston Villa. Cancelo, he starts at left-back for City today. We've seen him play on the right and the left at times this season, but Pep Guardiola opting for him off the left today. Fernandinho, Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne is the midfield 3 for Manchester City, and then the front 3 is Mahrez, in-form Phil Foden, who is a delight to watch, and he's getting better and better every time I watch him recently, and Sterling, who has been criticised a lot recently. He is not in his best form at all, really, is he? But that is the City lineup for today. And then for Spurs, Hugo Lloris, Serge Aurier, Alderweireld, Eric Dyer partnering him at the back today, Serge Reguilon and Emil Højbjerg, Harry Winks, who's not had too much game time this last season, has he? Really not liked under Jose Mourinho, but he starts for Ryan Mason's side today in this cup final. Lucas Moura, Lo Celso, Son and Harry Kane. So no Ndombele for Spurs today. An interesting choice for Ryan Mason. And let me know in the comments what you think about Ryan Mason. Does he deserve the job full-time? We're about 9 minutes from kickoff. I am aware that there are comments coming in. Before I get to the comments, I'm just going to read out some Optus stats ahead of the game. So Manchester City are looking to win the League Cup for a joint record 8th time. That would make them level with Liverpool, of course, and they could become just the second team in this competition to win it in 4 consecutive campaigns, which Liverpool did between 1981 and 1984. Tottenham, on the other hand, their last major trophy win came in this competition back in 2008. They beat Chelsea 2-1 at Wembley under Juan de Ramos. This is their 3rd appearance in the final since then. They've lost against United in 2009, just the season after. I think I remember Ben Foster playing in that game for Manchester United and making some penalty saves. Have I remembered that, or have I completely made it up? I think I'm right there. And Chelsea in 2015. And this is the second time Spurs and Manchester City are facing off in a major domestic cup final. Spurs won that in 1981. It was the FA Cup final against the Citizens, and that was following a replay. Remember that, the days when there were replays in finals. Tottenham versus Manchester City will be the 17th different fixture to have been played in the final of both the League Cup and the FA Cup. Tottenham have won all 3 of their previous League Cup meetings with Manchester City, winning round 3 in 1992. To 93, round 4 in 2003-2004, and the quarter-final en route to winning the trophy in 2007-2008. When playing at the ground as a neutral venue, Tottenham have lost each of their last 5 at Wembley Stadium, shipping at least 2 goals on each occasion. Spurs also lost both of their Premier League games against Manchester City at Wembley when using it as a home ground. And it's good to see from a Spurs perspective. And you know, I fancy City to win today, but you know, I'm kind of hoping Spurs win because it'll be a nice story, and they'll be looking towards their captain, who was, you know, a lot of people didn't think he'd be fit enough for today, but he's defied the odds and he's fit and starting for Spurs today. So he will be their main man in these, as he's been for the last couple of years. And Spurs will be really looking to him to send them to glory today, to win their first trophy for a very, very long time. Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola is looking to become the first manager to win the League Cup in 4 consecutive seasons. The Citizens haven't lost any of the last 19 ties in this competition. A mad stat for Manchester City. The last time they were eliminated or lost a game in this competition was Manchester United in October 2016. So there we have it. It will be Ryan Mason's 2nd game in charge of Spurs, and the last manager to take charge of an English club in a major final as early as his 2nd game was Luton Town's Sid Owen, whose first match was the 1959 FA Cup final. So a long time since this has happened, and I can see now the young Ryan Mason leading his Spurs side out of the tunnel at Wembley for today's Carabao Cup final. Let me get into the comments to find out what's going on here, what you lot are thinking. Yeah, some shock results today. Obviously, Leeds held United to a draw. After playing City, United and Liverpool in the last 3 games, they've got 3 points from it, drawing all 3 games. They've not lost to any of those sides. A few people saying hello, Jack. A few people wondering where Craig is. Unfortunately, guys, you've not got Craig today. I'm here, but I hope you enjoy it just as much. Yuvraj thinks it'll be 3-1 to Manchester City. Super Charlie Play says 2-1 City. I'm going to go with a quite simple. I'm going to go with 3-1, similarly to Yuvraj. I think Spurs will score first, but I think City will just be too good for them and run away with it in the end. Let's have a look. Anything else? Is Kane playing, says Addison? Yes, he is. Kane starts for Spurs today. A bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting him to be fit, but he is fit and he leads the line for Spurs today. Let's have a look. Jacob Thornton says 2-1 to City. Cohen Build says your knowledge is second to none. Thank you very much. I do use the help of Optus Stats for a couple of them, but yeah, I do try to learn as much before the game as I can. A few people asking about the Liverpool game yesterday. The thing is, I'm not shocked. You could see it a mile off. You could see that goal coming a mile off. And, you know, I think we got a bit lucky just before they scored with the Callum Wilson goal getting ruled out. So, yeah, I don't think we're strong enough to finish top four now. I really, really don't. So, yeah, our season's pretty much done now. Jacob Thornton says Stefan in net. Wow. He's always in net in these competitions, mate. Obviously, he didn't have the best of games against Chelsea in the FA Cup last weekend, but he made a really good save at one point. I think he was at fault for the Chelsea goal, but he's a decent goalkeeper and still young, of course, as well. 4-0 to City, says Samira. Walter White says City doesn't have 8,000 fans. I saw they were struggling to sell their allocation. I don't know why that is, but yeah, quite mad that, isn't it? Bearing in mind people haven't been able to go to football for months. You'd expect there to be 4,000 Manchester City fans desperate for a ticket, but clearly not. Let's have a look. Any other comments here? Gavin Moran says, Yo Jack, happy about the ESL is dead. I'm over the moon, mate. There's still so much wrong with football that I want to sort. To be honest, I think the last couple of weeks, I am so desperate for the season to be over now. And openly, I'll say that maybe if Liverpool were still playing for something, then I'd be more optimistic. But at the same time, I think just football as a whole at the minute has lost the effect after what's going on with the Super League stuff. I think the new Champions League format needs talking about as well. I think that's ridiculous. There's too many games for these players. I think with no fans in stadiums, it's ruined it a tiny bit. And I think the game really needs fans to return to stadiums next season. It really, really does. And there's also, as I say, a lot more to talk about. And this 50+1 rule that they're talking about potentially bringing into English football, I think would be excellent for the game. I really do, because we've seen warning signs this week, haven't we, about what billionaire owners can do to the game. And, you know, it was heartbreaking this week to see all that ESL stuff. I spoke about it so much over the last week, and I'm sick of hearing about it now, but it still disgusts me. I'm still very much in the stance that I don't want FSG in charge of my club anymore. I want all the owners of the top 6 clubs gone for even, you know, thinking of this. And we're lucky, really, that Chelsea and City weren't too interested in the competition. But, you know, you think why that might be, and that's because financially they're in a better situation than the other 4 English clubs, and it's as simple as that, really. They didn't need the money as much as Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United. So let's have a look. Ben Jenkins saying Glazers out. Yep, same for me with FSG, mate. Absolutely. I've seen the protests. I live in Manchester at university. A few of my mates, big Manchester United fans, they went to Old Trafford yesterday to protest. I was going to go to the one outside Anfield prior to the Liverpool-Newcastle match, but unfortunately I was working yesterday, so I was unable to go. But yeah, I do think things need to be done in football, and it's part of a wider thing. I think we can't just be narrow-minded and focus on the ESL, though that is the biggest thing, and though that brought us all together. You know, that was where big owners, big billionaire businessmen, they tried to take the game away from us, but instead they just brought us football fans closer together. And we need to use that now to fight against racism. That's the next thing that we need to beat in football, because it's a disgrace the amount of you know racial abuse incidents we've had over the last year. It's disgusting, and it's not just been the last year either, and we need to do more. Obviously, it was announced yesterday, the social media blackout, and we need more of that stuff like that. And of course, as well, it's next weekend, Liverpool, Manchester United next weekend. It's bigger than you think. The game is about to kick off. I've seen things asking me about Konate and stuff like that. I'll try and tackle that as the game goes on, but for now, I am going to concentrate on this game, the Carabao Cup final between Manchester City and Spurs. Can Spurs, the underdogs for today, can they do it? And yeah, they really are very much unlikely, in my opinion, but they've got the firepower, haven't they? They've got Harry Kane, they've got Heung-min Son, and on the day, Spurs can be a top side, but the worry for them today and all season really has been their defence. But have they got the new manager bounce under Ryan Mason? Can they produce a shock today and knock Manchester City off their perch? They've won the Carabao Cup for the last 3 seasons in a row, but can the Carabao Cup trophy have Spurs' name on after today? We will soon find out. And as I say, it's brilliant to see Wembley with some fans in. It really, really is. A Tottenham fan I can see on my screen now belting out a chance, and it's so good. I can't tell you how happy it makes me feel to see some fans in stadiums again. Not full Wembley by any means, but we're getting there. We're getting back to normality, and the whistle is in the referee's mouth, and we are underway. I have started the clock. We are underway at Wembley for the Carabao Cup final between Manchester City and Spurs. Keep your comments coming in, guys. As I say, these watch-alongs are made better by you lot. Remember to check out our sponsors, One Football. Remember to comment throughout, ask me questions. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what you think of the stream. And we will have a nice chat and enjoy ourselves. Quite a few people still asking where Craig is. Listen, I've not been here for a while because I've been doing uni work. I've had a dissertation to hand in. But how this channel works is me and Craig take it in turns, and we do streams. I also, while it's quiet in this game, City passing the ball around the back, I just want to say, my congratulations. I know I helped Craig and Connor out with Anfield Agenda, but for Anfield Agenda to hit 100k this last week has been absolutely outstanding, and I am so happy for Connor and Craig, for them to have hit that achievement. And thank you all to everyone who subscribes to Anfield Agenda. Thank you so much for that, because it was a proud day for both Craig and Connor, and it's a big achievement for them. So thank you all so much for that. And if you aren't subscribed to Anfield Agenda and you're a Liverpool fan or you support an opposition side, please go and subscribe to Anfield Agenda. And if you're not subscribed to Mundo Sporto, click that subscribe button right now. And remember to share this on social media so that we have more and more people joining us for this Carabao Cup final. And how this game has started is how I expect the majority of the game to go. City keeping the ball. They've just had their first attack of the game as the ball was whipped in by João Cancelo off the left-hand side, looking for someone in the middle, but it went out for a goal kick in the end. Pep Guardiola already very animated on the touchline. As I say, this is his tournament, isn't it? It really is. Corey wasn't happy at the sight of me and not Craig, but I think you understand now, Corey. Craig's got the day off. He had Chelsea, West Ham yesterday, of course, in that 1-0 win for Chelsea. A big win for Chelsea in their hopes for top four. But City with the ball at the back again as Zach Steffen gets a touch on the ball, the American young goalkeeper for Manchester City. Their number 2, no Edison today. We've seen it was a big thing for Arsene Wenger. He was one of the first coaches to do it, really, wasn't he, with the cup goalkeepers. And Pep Guardiola likes it too in the domestic cups. He likes to play Zach Steffen, the youngster, the young American who has moved over to Manchester and Man City from America at a young age. And in the last couple of years, we've seen him get game time in the domestic cups, haven't we? The game has started, as I say, very much how I expect it to do. Tottenham sitting off, City having a lot of the ball. I expect Spurs to try and play on the counter-attack today, as they did in their best games under Jose Mourinho, it must be said. And let me know what you think about Spurs' decision to sack Jose Mourinho. Do you think it was the right one? I suppose we will probably have that chat more so at the end of this game. It could work in Daniel Levy's favour, but they've given the ball away here, and here's Raheem Sterling. Sterling tries to put it on his right foot, but Serge Aurier does really well there. But Spurs sloppy in these early stages, and Lucas Moura has given the ball away again, but Gundogan is penalised for a foul. But really good defending there from Serge Aurier. But Sterling didn't make the most of that. He tried to put it on his right foot early doors, and there was a question from Sterling towards the referee, but he was never getting a decision there. It's really good defending from Serge Aurier, and I don't say that too often, mate. But Serge Aurier tries to turn there and puts the ball out for a Manchester City throw on the halfway line. As my camera pans to Harry Kane, a man that will be key for Spurs today if they're going to end up with Carabao Cup winners. A big day for Spurs, as I say. Haven't won a trophy since 2008. A big opportunity for them as Laporte finds Ruben Diaz, a revelation signing for Manchester City this year. And the citizens looking to get their first trophy as they hope for a treble this season. And I saw a video, actually. I can't remember who did it, the video. I think it was on TikTok. I think it was that Tyler Garrett talking about City winning the treble. And, you know, a lot of people have said that, you know, it won't be as good because it's not the proper treble. It's not, you know, it's not the FA Cup, it's the Carabao Cup. But nonetheless, it would be a huge achievement for Manchester City, COVID football or not, for them to do the treble this season. They obviously did the domestic treble a couple of seasons ago. And they're looking for their first European trophy this year as well. They've got to the semi-final, of course. A difficult fixture for them against Paris Saint-Germain. That's, of course, the first leg this week. They'll have one eye on that as well, City. Some big, big games coming up for them. But it'll be big for them to get their first trophy of the season today at Wembley. And Harry Winks, as I say, on the ball, not too much football for him this season. Mourinho didn't seem to be a fan of him, did he? But he starts for Ryan Mason's side at Wembley today. As Lloris finds Eric Dyer at the back. Eric Dyer, a man who's been questioned for Spurs, as many as Spurs centre-backs and, you know, whole defence have been throughout the season. That is one area where they'll need to improve in the summer if they want to start challenging for the title again, if you can ever say they did challenge for the title. Here is Ruben Diaz. Fernandinho back to Ruben Diaz. As City look to progress and dominating on the ball in these early stages. João Cancelo to Aymeric Laporte again. And João Cancelo once again on the left-hand side. Really good work to get past Højbjerg. And he finds Sterling, whose first touch is brilliant, and beats Aurier, and he pulls it across, but somehow that's gone wide. Really good work from City on that left-hand side there. Brilliant from both João Cancelo and Sterling. It's probably too easy for Cancelo, who beats Højbjerg with ease, and Sterling's first touch is brilliant. Completely takes Aurier out of the game, and he squares it, and Foden tries to finish first time. But the pace on the ball, I think, means Foden's tried to go for the near post, but instead it's hit the side netting and it remains 0-0. But we're still in the first 10 minutes and City showing early warning signs for Spurs as Foden wins the ball back deep in the Spurs half again. And City look to get an early goal in this Carabao Cup final. He pulls it back to Fernandinho. That's a lovely ball back over the top to Foden, who puts it across goal. Mahrez on the right-hand side of the box, backs to the wall for Spurs. Walker, Mahrez puts the ball in the box. Sterling with a header. It's wide. And Sterling thinks he was pushed, but he's not getting a penalty for that. All the way around, he's holding his head. We might have a small stoppage here, but really early warning signs for Tottenham. Manchester City are looking really good here in the early stages at Wembley. And Spurs are going to need to be really, really resilient defensively today if they're going to have their name engraved in that Carabao Cup trophy at the end of the day. Because City have started this game looking really good, really rampant. They've started really, really well. And if you were wondering how this game was going to go today, I think it's started how many people may have thought it would be. Spurs, very much with a good defensive structure. City dominate on the ball and looking for openings. Spurs have been sloppy at times and City have had a couple of chances already early doors. On another day, we would have seen City scoring early on, and once again City win the ball high up the pitch. Foden on the left-hand side. Sterling, really good turn from Sterling. Before the game, I questioned his recent form, but he started this game brightly. As Spurs and Serge Aurier win a throw in their own half. Ryan Mason and Pep Guardiola both animated already on the touchline. And what a day this is for Ryan Mason. You know, Jose Mourinho sacked last week. Just a week before a Carabao Cup final. You really have to question the timing of it. Ryan Mason never had a management job before. His career was ended early, of course, after an injury inflicted accidentally by Gary Cahill. a head injury. Of course, one of the head injuries that brought in the conversation about football needing to do more with head injuries. And now, of course, we see the concussion substitution, which have been brought in on a trial basis this season. Long may they continue, by the way. I think they're an excellent addition to the game, as Mahrez has the ball on the right-hand side. What a strange player Mahrez is, capable of so much, but so hit and miss, isn't he? On his day, he's an outstanding footballer, Riyad Mahrez. There's a couple of people asking about being a moderator. I honestly don't know how to do it. Craig has asked me to make someone one, but I don't know how, so I will try and get Craig to explain that to me. If you can give me a second. City have a corner now on the right-hand side. Riyad Mahrez will take it. Can City break the deadlock early on here and force Spurs out their shell? Lloris doesn't deal with that too comfortably, but he manages to get a punch on it. And Sterling now off the left for City, gets past Serge Reguilon. Far too easy, and that is great defending in the end by Lucas Moura. And it is a goal kick for Spurs. Oh, it's done, apparently. Thank you very much for whoever sorted that out for me. Pep Guardiola claps. He's clearly happy with what he's seen early doors here. And Sterling, as I say, has started brightly. City have started brightly in this Carabao Cup final, as I expected them to. My score prediction prior to the game was 3-1 to Manchester City. Raheem Sterling scored 8 in his previous 18 matches against Spurs. Can he get another one today for the citizens? And can he guide them to their 4th consecutive Carabao Cup victory? And as I say, Pep Guardiola will be the first manager ever to get 4 consecutive Carabao Cups under his belt. They'll be the first side to do it since Liverpool in the early 80s. Patrick Silk thinks it'll be 2-1 to Manchester City at the end of the day. Addison Taramani asking who the better side has been. Undoubtedly City. They're dominating in possession. Spurs, as I say, trying clearly to set up in this defensive shape and ride an early City storm. But will they be successful in doing that? They've got a side that are able to hit City and hurt City on the counter-attack. We've seen them do it in games prior to this one against the Citizens. Red Ryan thinks it'll be City 2, Spurs 0. Samira thinks 4-0 to City. Twins Mason asking if I support Liverpool. Yes, I do. Mohammed asking if it's on BBC. I don't think so, mate. I've got it on Sky. As City go again. Gundogan over to the left-hand side. Here's Sterling. Raheem Sterling cuts it in onto his right. Then goes to De Bruyne. Is he offside? Flag stays down. Spurs defenders appealing for offside, but a corner has been given. Michael Dunn asking advice on how to do football content. Just be you. That's all I can say. I think a lot of people that do football content try and be someone who they're not. And the best thing to do when you're trying to do videos is just be yourself, because people like you for you. And if you know football, De Bruyne whips it in from the left-hand side, cleared away. If you know football, you know what you're talking about. You know, yourself, people enjoy it. So that's the best thing I can say, mate. As Foden pulls it back, Raheem Sterling, great block by Eric Dyer. City's best chance of the game, undoubtedly. A really good pullback by Phil Foden, and Sterling got a shot towards goal, but a very good block from Eric Dyer. Tottenham struggling here. Fernandinho. Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side. I think it's only a matter of time before we see City get the opening goal of this game. And it's pulled back to Ruben Diaz. Over to the left-hand side now where João Cancelo is. Back now to Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian. And now it's Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz, Phil Foden. Really good passing performance here from Manchester City. They're dominating this Carabao Cup final. Mahrez on the right-hand side. Mahrez whips it in towards the back post. Sterling. Maybe João Cancelo could have put a shout on it there to let him know he was there. He was definitely in a better position to bring the ball down there. But Spurs managing to hold on in this first 15 minutes despite truly being under the cosh. That block from Eric Dyer was a very, very good defensive block by the defensive midfielder turned centre-back this season, of course. He played there before in his career. Lucas Moura now on the ball. Tottenham trying to get some possession of their own as they're passing it along the back. Let's have a look. Red Ryan says, Coys. Come on, you Coys. Go on, you Spurs. It would be good for them to do a shock today, wouldn't it? And it'll be interesting to see then what happens with Manchester City's season. Would they go all out in the Champions League against PSG? I expect them to do that anyway. You know, they're desperate for their first European trophy, aren't they? That's the one Pep Guardiola really wants. The league's almost done. United dropping points today completely puts that to bed, really. If there was any doubt, United in recent weeks have got slightly closer, haven't they? But they're just 2 wins away now. And a free kick has been given. Phil Foden hacked down. Let me know what you lot think about Phil Foden. I think he's a magical player, me. You know, I've spoken about him before. I say it a lot. I think in a couple of years, he will be up there with Mbappe and Haaland. That's if he's not already. You know, the only thing keeping him away from them two is game time, you know, because City have a really strong squad and they rotate. I think next season he'll get a lot more game time. He'll be one of the first names on the team sheet. And very soon we're going to see him up there with Mbappe and Haaland. We really are. I think when he retires, he'll be the best English player to have ever played football. I honestly believe that. Truly, truly top talent. I really, really like him. I really do. And he gets better every time I watch him. Outstanding footballer. And, you know, I'm going to put it out there and say he's not far. You know, he only needs longevity, really, to put him up there with some top players in the Premier League right now, because it's early days for Foden, but I think with Foden everyone can see that there's talent there and there's going to be talent there for a long time, as Son is blocked off by De Bruyne and the referee has penalised him there and given a free kick for Spurs. It could very easily be a booking for Kevin De Bruyne, but for now the referee is choosing not to put his hand in his pocket. Chris Legit saying about a possible quadruple for City, but remember that was ended last week when Chelsea knocked them out the FA Cup. Red Ryan says City will get poofed by PSG. I don't really know what poofed means, to be honest, mate. Never heard that word in my life. But I don't think they will either, because I personally think that will be a very, very close tie. PSG will cause them all kinds of problems defensively. I do believe that, but I also think PSG's defence isn't the greatest either. And I think it could be a goal fest between the two sides. I really, really do. I think it'll be an entertaining affair. Definitely better than Chelsea, Real Madrid, that's for sure. But here we go. Spurs trying to have some possession of their own as the Celso with a weak pass, but Reguilon does well to get it under control in the end, and Dyer to Lo Celso, who does really well there actually to find Reguilon, and Reguilon roams forwards with the ball. Can Spurs cause any problems for Manchester City? You know, with players that they've got, they only need one opportunity really, as Aurier whips it in towards Harry Kane and Diaz defends well. He heads behind for a Spurs corner, and that's better from Tottenham Hotspur. Amazing Magic says, would rather City win than Spurs actually have a trophy. You can see it from both ways. You know, it's only the Carabao Cup, really. You know, and for me, I think Spurs are a bit irrelevant. I don't really care about them. So, you know, I don't think them winning the Carabao Cup would necessarily set anything. Whereas with Manchester City, it would stop a treble, wouldn't it? So, you know, for me, I would personally rather Tottenham win today. That's my opinion, as it's whipped in from Son and it's punched by Stefan, an in-swinger, clearly trying to put pressure on the young American goalkeeper for Manchester City, and whipped in again towards Eric Dyer. Heung-min Son. Here is Alderweireld now, who looks to test Stefan from distance, but drags it just wide. But this is better from Tottenham Hotspur, starting to cause City one or two problems of their own after being under the cosh for the whole of the first 15 minutes. And City now will try and build from the back again. João Cancelo off the left. Excuse me. Maisie Magic says PSG will stop City from winning the treble. I hope so. It'd be nice to see them not winning a European trophy, wouldn't it? But I don't know. I think it's so hard to call that tie. It really is. And I'll be speaking to Craig. I'll let you know. I assume Craig will probably do City PSG and I'll do Chelsea Real Madrid, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to speak to him about it. Here is Laporte at the back, who finds Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz now roaming forwards with the ball at his feet. He goes on the right-hand side to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker to Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne now to Riyad Mahrez, who loses it. But Lo Celso was fouled, according to the referee. I didn't think there was too much in that, to be honest. Chris Legit saying, I don't want City to ever win a Champions League trophy. No, it would be nice if they can never get that. It would be nice if Pep Guardiola can never get that at Manchester City. But I do think they're too strong to not win it at some point. It's going to happen. And we have to face that. And would you rather it happen when fans aren't in stadiums? Probably. Here is Eric Dyer, Serge Aurier. And he loses it to Cancelo, and Spurs have to stop doing that if they're wanting to win this final today. They're giving away possession in their own half to Manchester City far too easily, and City will punish you if you do that too frequently. Here's Gundogan trying to toss and turn in the Spurs box and keep the ball, but he can't. Spurs get it away in the end, but City have it back, and De Bruyne is fouled about 25 yards out, and this is a free kick in a good position for Manchester City. Maisie Magic says, if City win the Champions League, we will never hear the end of it. Yeah, this great Manchester City side, I feel that's what football fans have over them at the minute, isn't it? That they're yet to win a European trophy. They've won everything else that there is to win, but not the Champions League. And this year, they've got the closest that they've ever got to it. And it's their best chance, so they'll be wanting it. But PSG, a very, very tough task for them with players like Mbappe, Neymar, some of the world's greatest. Of course, the runners-up of last season's Champions League. And if I was to pick a winner right now, I'd back PSG, which is interesting because, for months I've been saying I think Man City will win the Champions League this season, but in the last week or so, I've started to think PSG might be too strong for City. But we'll see, I suppose. But City here with a free kick, and I'm seeing them with a wall a couple of yards in front of a six-man Spurs wall. They have a wall of their own of Diaz, Fernandinho and Foden. And will it be Riyad Mahrez who strikes this, or De Bruyne? It is De Bruyne, and it's met by the head of Harry Kane, who stands strong in the wall for Spurs. And here is Serge Reguilon, and what is he doing? He's just let the ball run out of play there. What is Serge Reguilon doing? Bizarre decision from the Spaniard, and City have a throw on this right-hand side through Kyle Walker. I'm not quite sure what Reguilon's done there. I think perhaps he didn't realise the ball was so close to going out. But here is Aymeric Laporte. Gundogan back to Laporte. Fernandinho now. Fernandinho turns and goes over to the right-hand side. Here is Walker. Walker to Mahrez. Mahrez to Fernandinho. City playing the ball around nicely. Some good 1- and 2-touch football here from what has to go down as one of the best footballing sides that has been seen in Premier League football, in my opinion. I think you do have to give Manchester City credit. I know they've spent a lot of money, but the team that they have built is a very, very good side. And Laporte has fouled Lucas Moura, and this is what I don't like. It is a potential decision for Paul Tierney. You could very easily have given Laporte a yellow card for that, but Spurs players crowding around the official asking for a card. Clearly, I do think that's a yellow. I do think Spurs players are well within their rights to protest that and ask for a yellow card there. Laporte's lost the ball and he's dragged Lucas Moura down. And, Lucas Moura, with the pace he's got, it had the opportunity there to build a nice counter-attack for Spurs. And for me, if it wasn't the Carabao Cup final, potentially, Laporte has been booked for it after all. So, yeah, apologies for that. Tierney seemed to delay his decision, but Laporte has become the first man to go in the book in this Carabao Cup final. And Spurs once again giving away possession deep in their own half. It's Dyer's turn to do it, and the ball's put across all the way. And that is a top save from Hugo Lloris from Phil Foden. And the World Cup winner, the Frenchman, the aging Frenchman, between the sticks for Spurs, makes a crucial save there. Dyer concedes possession. It's good defending initially from Alderweireld to half deal with De Bruyne's cross. Actually, it's not. Wow. It's not Lloris. It is the centre-back, Alderweireld. And that is brilliant defending. He deals with the first cross from De Bruyne, snuffs it out with a tackle, and then he's up to react to that shot from Foden and block it. And then ricochets off the post and goes out for a corner, which is whipped in by Mahrez, and Kane heads away. But brilliant defending there from Toby Alderweireld. But City come again through Kevin De Bruyne, who's fouled by Reguilon, and I think he'll go in the book now too. As this game is really starting to come to life now, Reguilon joins Laporte in Paul Tierney's book for a nasty challenge there on De Bruyne. A late challenge. City all over Spurs here. Twins Mason saying it was Eric Dyer that blocked. No, it wasn't. It was Toby Alderweireld. It was excellent defending from him. It was Eric Dyer that gave the ball away. And Toby Alderweireld did so well to deal with the initial cross. Snuffed it out brilliantly. And then to react and to block that strike from Phil Foden that I thought was destined for the back of the net was brilliant defending from the Belgian. Really, really was. Really impressive. They've come under a lot of criticism this season, Spurs and their defence. But that was an example of top defending by Toby Alderweireld. Here we are now with City. Here we are with De Bruyne with a free kick from the right-hand side. It's not the greatest, but it caused Spurs issues and they can't get it away. And Diaz is penalised for a foul on Lucas Moura as he towers over the Brazilian and was perhaps slightly too physical. You can see Pep Guardiola not happy on the bench. I think he thinks that there wasn't too much in that, but for me it was a foul. But Guardiola not happy with that decision from the referee. But City dominating this cup final. They've had some top chances. Spurs haven't helped themselves, conceding possession on a couple of occasions far too easily in their own half. The best chance has fallen to Phil Foden on a couple of occasions. Alderweireld there with some excellent defending to deny the City youngster, the Mancunian. Here's Son on the left-hand side who finds Reguilon as Spurs look to come themselves, but they're wasteful with it and they give it away. And now City's turn to break. This game really coming to life. De Bruyne, Phil Foden. I'd be incredibly surprised if we go into half-time with this game still level at 0-0. In the first 15 minutes, Spurs sat back, but now it's become a bit more of an open game and Fernandinho just strikes it, but sliced it wide in the end from a long way out, about 35 yards out. He's not hit that well at all, really, and it goes a long way wide in the end. But City dominance, Lloris trying to slow things down. As I say, the game has really opened up, and that suits Manchester City, doesn't it? City like to dictate the pace of the game. But here we go, as Lo Celso and Sterling both compete for the ball in the air, and Lo Celso in the end fouls Gundogan, who takes the free kick quickly for City. Foden to Sterling, who slows the game down and finds João Cancelo. And as I say, City will keep the ball now and they'll wait. And then there, Fernandinho bursts the game back into life and tries to change the speed of the game. And Sterling lobs Hugo Lloris, but it goes wide. There's no one running in for City to be on the end of that and put it into the back of the net. But really good work once again by City. They're really playing some lovely football at times today. They're dominant in this game. They're at the top of their game today. City, of course, playing without a recognised striker this afternoon, and that's what they've been missing really in the early stages. Someone who is capable of creating a chance out of nothing and putting the ball in the back of the net. Some of their players have been outstanding. They've had a couple of good opportunities. Foden hit wide with a first-time chance. You've got that one, of course. Alderweireld did some excellent defending from a Foden chance before, and there is Kevin De Bruyne with another lovely low cross, and Foden looked like he might get on the end of it, but it's good defending from Spurs again as Kane was brought down. I thought Ruben Diaz won the ball fairly there. I think the referees got that wrong, I really do. And City players aren't happy either. Kane has gone down like a sack of shit. But for me, that is a lovely challenge from Ruben Diaz. Let's see it again. Yep, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. He gets a really good foot on that, Diaz. That is a brilliant challenge. I love challenges like that. There's no way that is a foul. But the referee has given it, much to the dismay of the whole City camp. And Pep Guardiola is bemused on the sideline. Ryan Mason trying to claim why it was a foul. I don't know why Harry Kane has gone down like a sack of spuds. But for me, there is definitely not a foul there. It's a brilliant challenge by Ruben Diaz as centre-half that I am very fond of. A brilliant signing for Manchester City. So young as well still. And not just a good centre-half. He's a leader at the back for City too, which they've been missing since Vincent Kompany left them. A lot of people underestimated what that would do to Manchester City. Kompany for years before he left City was more of a squad player, but you know, players like that are so important for squad morale, you know, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. And City were missing a leader at the back in his absence. They really, really were. And Diaz has come in this season. He's improved players like John Stones, and he's become a really important player for them. One of the first on the team sheets for Pep Guardiola. Let's have a look. See what you beautiful people are saying in the comments. How are you making of this first half an hour of the Carabao Cup final, which remains level between a dominant City and Spurs? As Paul Tierney blows his whistle for a foul. Sterling the culprit for a push in the back. It was a late whistle from Paul Tierney, who is refereeing his first major cup final today. And already has made a couple of bad decisions, but we'll let him off. Tom O'Malley saying, who has been better, Jack? City dominant, as you'd expect. They've had the better chances. Spurs have been all right at the back, though. They've caused their own problems on the ball. But Alderweireld's made it a brilliant block before. Again, they've conceded possession deep in their own half. They need to cut that out, Spurs, because the more they do that, City will punish them. That's what they do. Laporte, João Cancelo off the left. Here he is. That's a dink into the box. An interesting one. And Højbjerg heads away. Blur Moment says, Jack, can Spurs win or will they bottle it? I don't think it'll be them bottling it, because you expect City to win today, don't you? You know, it won't be them bottling it at all. I don't think anyone expects Spurs to win. I don't think they'll win. And if they win, I think it'll be a lot down to luck and good defending, because the way City are playing, they're looking at the top of the game. Some of the football that they've played in this opening half an hour, I've been impressed with. They're trying to dictate the game. They want to play this final on their terms. And Spurs seem happy to let them at times. They're sitting off them. There was a brief period before, about 10 minutes ago, where the game was a bit more open and City really looked like scoring then. They had a great chance through Phil Foden. Really good defending in the end by Toby Alderweireld. But City really have been dominant in the first 35 minutes of this Carabao Cup final. Can this potato get 10 subs? Asking me my opinion on the new UCL format. We'll talk about that at halftime, mate. But I don't like it, that's for sure. I prefer it to the Super League, and I think it has legs, but the amount of games I think is too much for these footballers that already play a ridiculous amount of football. And Mahrez cuts in and gets a really good shot in. Riyad Mahrez loves doing that, doesn't he? Getting the ball, doing a bit of skill, putting it on his left foot from the right-hand side edge of the box and trying to whip a shot in towards goal. And that's what he does best. And this time it beats Lloris, but he's off target. Not too far, a couple of inches wide. That from Riyad Mahrez. Good effort from him. And it does look for Spurs right now that they're riding their luck. City have had a couple of good chances. These players will be tired, says Elevator Kid. Absolutely, mate, they will do. They play so much football as it is. You've seen with Manchester City, they compete on all four fronts until the very late stages of all competitions. And by the end of the season, by this part of the season, in the last couple of games, they haven't looked as good, have they? Because, players are starting to get tired. And I think we've seen Liverpool fall off this season due to that as well, with Klopp's heavy metal football, with his gegenpressing for the last 3 years, competing at the standards they have, getting the point tallies they have, competing in 2 Champions League finals as well. I think it's just caught up with them, especially with the lack of breaks due to the madness that's been surrounding us with COVID and everything else in the world the last few months and year, really now. You forget how long this shit and madness has gone on for, don't you? But City try again. João Cancelo off the left, inside the Spurs half. He whips a ball towards Phil Foden, who is playing in the centre for Spurs today. With Sterling off the left, Mahrez off the right, De Bruyne in the 10. And a shot from Mahrez, who once again managed to get it on his left foot. And it's over this time from Mahrez, but he's getting a lot of space to be able to do that. Spurs will want to try and stop that in the second half. Mason will no doubt talk to his players at half-time because they're giving Mahrez a lot of time on the ball in positions like that, and he will hurt you. He's missed a couple at this point, but you don't want to give him too many more because Mahrez is very capable of scoring from that range. Here's Lo Celso, whose first touch is really good, and he finds Son. Good play from Giovanni Lo Celso. Can Spurs mount an attack of real danger to Manchester City as Moura crosses the ball, but it's a poor cross, let's be honest with you. Lo Celso with a 1-2 with Lucas Moura, and then over to the right where Serge Aurier is, who tries to whip in across, but João Cancelo blocks really well. Serge Aurier will take the throw for Spurs. Lucas Moura goes back to Harry Winks, who plays today despite not playing much football this season. Maybe that was a reason why he's playing. Maybe a bit of fresh legs for Ryan Mason, someone who is playing for his future at Spurs. Harry Winks to Toby Alderweireld. Back to Eric Dyer. City now find themselves without possession. They've not been in a situation like that for the majority of this game. City have dominated. Here's Son, Aurier, back to Son on the right-hand side for Tottenham Hotspur. He whips the ball in, but once again, it doesn't beat the first man, but it's blocked by Laporte and out for a Spurs corner. And a set piece for Spurs. They'll hope to cause problems for City from these today. I think the issue is they're going to spend a lot of the game cramped in their own half, Spurs, and they need to try and make the most of these set pieces today. Let's have a look. Before I get into the comments, I'll wait for this corner. It's absolutely boiling, isn't it? Cracking the flags out there today. Difficult conditions to play a game of this magnitude in, that's for sure, as Giovanni Lo Celso will whip the corner in from the right. It's a poor delivery from him. And Winks heads back to Lo Celso as Tottenham remain on the ball and in possession. But again, poor from Lo Celso. And City come away with the ball. De Bruyne, can they counter now? Foden's pass looks through to Mahrez, but it's blocked well by Højbjerg, and City have a throw on this left-hand side. Rayhan Sederga, as for my prediction, I think 3-1 to Manchester City, mate. City have the ball now through Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne finds Fernandinho on the halfway line for Manchester City, who finds Laporte again. Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez to Kevin De Bruyne, who is capable of a delivery towards Sterling, and that's a lovely ball in from the Belgian, but Sterling can't quite get a touch on it. A touch was all it needed. Anything on that, and it's likely to go in the back of the net. A beauty of a ball, a peach, as I like to call it, from Kevin De Bruyne. A man capable of so much, and once again, that is just outstanding from De Bruyne. Orgasmic. Wow. Oh, I'm in awe of that pass from Kevin De Bruyne. That is unreal. It really is sensational. And as we can see, for all the people asking me how this game has gone so far, you've seen 9 City attempts to Spurs' 1. But, fun fact for you, from this first 40 minutes of the Carabao Cup final, there's not been a single shot on target yet. Not a single one. As Sterling just keeps it in on this left. Oh, no, he doesn't. A late flag there. Sterling didn't keep it in. And it will be a throw for Tottenham on the right-hand side. And for Spurs, I suppose if they can go into the break with it still at 0-0, they can breathe a sigh of relief. They've been under the cosh for the majority of this first half. Matthew Dooley asking which club I support. I am a Liverpool fan, mate. As I can tell by your profile picture, you are a Manchester United fan. Jack, question for you. If you could take 3 players off the field and bench right now, who would they be? For what team, mate? For both teams? For the game? Are you talking about the 3 players I like the least on the pitch? Can you explain a bit more? I don't know if I'm being stupid there. But here we go. City again at the back with Laporte. It's not been the most of an entertaining of games here between City and Spurs. City aren't the greatest of teams to watch, are they? But you can appreciate their talent and just how good they are. A sensational football team, but not the prettiest to watch, are they? They play pretty football, but it can be very slow at times as they like to play the game at their own pace and then burst things into life when they want to. And Spurs have clearly come here with a plan, and that's to ride the storm, ride the wave, and try and score on the counter. With players like Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, you only need one chance to score. And, you know, from a Spurs perspective, for them to get to half-time with a score still at 0-0, I think will be an achievement for itself because, you know, City have been clearly the better team in this first half and they've had some brilliant chances to get an opener. Let's have a look in the comments. Any other comments here? Have Liverpool signed Konate? Yeah, according to Fabrizio Romano, it is very close, I believe, to being a done deal and that he will sign for Liverpool. And I think it's May the 1st, isn't it? Which for me is an outstanding signing. It really is. I've heard some bad rumours the last couple of weeks about, you know, maybe Joe Gomez injury being worse than initially thought, or, you know, Joel Matip potentially departing. Jack's page thinks Laporte should be off. I don't think so. He had that stonewall yellow card earlier. And other than that, I think it's been fine. But Lucas Moura looking to go forwards. Oh, there you go. I'm confused. Well, before, I thought Laporte got booked before for a last man foul. And that's what Jack Page's comments about, that tackle there. Lucas Moura breaking through, looking really good as Spurs look to hit City on the counter. But Sky earlier produced a graphic saying that Laporte had been booked when clearly he hadn't. But yeah, for me, they are 2 yellow card challenges, and both of them are worthy of yellow cards. And Laporte, very, very lucky to still be on the pitch in this cup final. He really, really is. I'm baffled. I thought he was booked for that first challenge on Lucas Moura. And for me, that second one, which he clearly now has been booked for, was a stonewall yellow card as well. But would he make that second challenge if he'd have been booked for the first one? Who knows? Here is Riyad Mahrez now, who finds João Cancelo. This is looking good for City. João Cancelo, great save, Hugo Lloris. 1 minute of added time. We've played 30 seconds of it. And Hugo Lloris forced to making his first save of the day. And it's from an effort from João Cancelo, who has been the best fullback in the league this season, in my opinion. There'll be talk for Luke Shaw as well. I think he's up there too. But for me, João Cancelo has been a revelation in that role for Manchester City. And he forces a top save from Lloris there. And the corner comes in from the left. Diaz heads. Gundogan now. Laporte away from Alderweireld. And the referee blows his whistle for half-time. Tottenham hang on. It's 0-0 at the break between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup final. City have dominated. They really have. They've had the better chances too. Alderweireld with a pivotal block to deny Foden. Lloris made a great save at the end of that first half there too. Spurs have questions to be asked themselves though. Maybe Aymeric Laporte should have been sent off for a second bookable offence. He wasn't booked for a challenge on Lucas Moura where he's clearly brought him down, denying a counter-attack, really. He wasn't booked for that first one, but for the second one he was. And Gary Neville agreeing with me that he should have been sent for it, really. He should have been given 2 yellows, 1 for each. But the first half of the Carabao Cup remains level. City 0, Spurs 0. Spurs have ridden the storm so far, but it will not be long, you think, before City cause more issues for Tottenham. They're holding on for now, Spurs, but how long can they hold on for in this cup final? Can they win their first trophy since 2008? We'll soon find out. But while it's the halftime break, I remind you of our sponsors, OneFootball. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates. And it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. So there you go, download OneFootball. I can't lie, I'm trying to enjoy this game, but to be honest, it's been an absolute stinker so far. I think City have been dominant. They've had the game exactly where they want to. There was a brief 5-minute period where the game opened up and Spurs had a couple of attempts at a counter. But, you know, I think besides that, City have very much had the game where they want it. And Spurs very lucky to go in at the break with the score still level. City really missing a striker. I worry if they sign a top striker in the summer, because they would be the perfect side with a striker. They really, really would. That's what they've missed today in this first half. And, you know, they've got quality on their bench. They really, really do. And, you know, this game could be decided in the second half, or remember, we could have extra time and penalties at Wembley today. So we'll see. Spurs have come here with a plan themselves. They want to be defensively resilient, which we've not seen too much of from Spurs this season. They've been shocking defensively for the majority of the season, haven't they? But they've made mistakes themselves, especially on the ball. They've given the ball away far too frequently to Manchester City in their own half. But as yet, City haven't punished them for it. But you can't do it too often because City will punish you. They really, really will. Let me know what you think about that Laporte decision. I was sure that Sky showed a graphic after that first one suggesting that Laporte had got a yellow card, but clearly not. So when I saw Paul Tierney go to his pocket and give Laporte a yellow for the second foul, I thought he was off. But no, he clearly somehow got away with that first one. But for me, with the refereeing background I have, I would have given a yellow card for both of them. And for me, Laporte wouldn't still be on the pitch. That is my honest opinion, but he's clearly got away with the first. And as I say, as a player in a cup final, would you have made that second challenge if you made the first? I don't think so. But, Lucas Moura with his pace was causing City problems there and was looking to mount a counter-attack. And for me, on both occasions, Laporte has brought him down, denied a counter-attack, and they're both yellow card offences. And he's lucky to still be on the pitch, in my opinion. So let's have a look to see what you lot think of the first half and all your comments, really, of any footballing related conversations that you want to have. Let's have it. There's not too much to talk about from the first half. Everything we've got to speak about from that first half, we've already spoken about. So let's have a look now. What a story it would be, by the way, if Ryan Mason lifts the Carabao Cup in just his second game in charge of Spurs against the Pep Guardiola Manchester City side, who are looking to break records today with their fourth consecutive Carabao Cup trophy. But for me, I don't think it's possible. It's possible, of course it's possible. In these in football, anything's possible. That's the beauty of this game. But, I think it's very unlikely, especially with the way City are playing. Their build-up play has been sensational. They're just missing a goal scorer right now. Mahrez has had a couple of half chances. We've seen good chances for Phil Foden. Sterling has had a couple of half chances too. One of which was blocked really well by Eric Dyer. But I think Spurs are in big trouble. I can't see them winning this. I think City have the game where they want, and it's only a matter of time before they break the deadlock, and Ryan Mason will need to change something at the break for me. So let's have a look at your comments. Mark LFC UK says yellow carded players are Reguilon and Laporte. Yep. Well, you see, I thought Laporte got booked for that first challenge before Reguilon, but he wasn't. He was booked afterwards. So there we have it. City for the treble, says Aditya Menon. I bet your name is interesting when you try and play football. I would take the piss out of you if I was playing football with you. I'm sorry. I would shout Menon every time you had the ball. Sorry, I'm a right dickhead. But yeah, it's not even funny. I don't know why I do that. Like, why? But yeah, nice name, Adita Menon. Dan's Gaming and Reaction channel says Man City need to bring Aguero on. Interesting. I think Aguero isn't the player that he's been in recent years, but he's still a proven goal scorer, and that's what City need at the moment. They really do. I believe his move to Barca is pretty much done. I believe he's agreed a 2-year contract at the Catalan Giants. So I think that's where he'll be at next season. But he's a top player for City, and he's definitely one capable of coming on and winning the match for them. Let's have a look. Elevator Kid saying Man City have signed KK. Yes, they have. Obviously, I've not seen too much of this guy, but if you don't know, I run an academy channel that obviously I do in partnership with another channel. But yeah, for me, I run this academy channel, and Keiki is a player that I've watched his YouTube highlights, and he looks like a real top talent. A lot of people believe that he is the next Neymar in Brazil. That's what they say. And City have picked up a real top player. It's a football manager signing, really, isn't it? £10 million, a top young talent from Brazil. Could be a top player in the future, and we'll have to see. We've seen how well Pep Guardiola has nurtured Phil Foden? Will he do the same with KK, or will he just be a player that doesn't live up to his potential? We'll soon see, I suppose. Any more comments? About 5 minutes, I think, before the second half will get back underway. Let's have a look. Would you take Semedo at Liverpool for backup for Trent? I don't think it's realistic, mate. I think that would be I think that's a FIFA sort of signing. I can't see that happening. How did I feel about Liverpool versus Newcastle? The thing was, when they equalised, I saw it coming. You know, it was coming. The minute we took Thiago off, I think Thiago was dominating the game yesterday. I think he was controlling it for us. He was exactly what you need, you know. And one thing that Liverpool haven't been good at this season, which we've been outstanding at the last couple of years, is seeing out games. And, you know, in the last couple of years gone by, that is a game where we're not at our best. Salah gets an early goal and we see the game out. We come away 1-0 winners. We get away with one with the Callum Wilson one, which for me is a goal. Game's gone mad if that's a handball. But we got away with one there. And usually we'd be like, phew, hold on, final whistle, 1-0, 3 points in the bag. Nice and easy work. Let's go home and put the kettle on. But, you know, yesterday I just saw it coming a mile off. And, you know, I spoke about top four in the last few weeks. I've said it's certainly, you know, it's unlikely, but it's possible. But, you know, I thought we'd have needed wins against Leeds and Newcastle. We couldn't afford to drop points, to drop points in both of them. We have Manchester United next weekend. They should beat us comfortably with the way we're playing at the minute. We are abysmal to watch at the moment. Things just aren't good for us. They're really not. We're looking a shadow of the side that we've been in the last couple of years. And, you know, for me, we really miss Fabinho in midfield. That's when we look at our best. We're really missing Jordan Henderson. We've missed Van Dijk all season. And it's a season that I want to forget. And it's heartbreaking for me because I don't want to see us in the Europa League or that UEFA Conference League either. And for me right now, I'm looking at things thinking, are we even going to finish in the Europa League spot? And for me, just being that UEFA Conference League would be absolutely embarrassing. It really, really would. I don't want to play in that competition. I'd rather, you know, finish outside them places. But it's not been a good season for us at all. And Newcastle, fair enough, a few weeks ago, I'd written them off. I said that they were down and out. But it looks now like they've survived. And Burnley too. They look like they've been dragged down into the relegation battle. But 4-0 winners over Wolves earlier. I never, ever thought I'd see Burnley winning 4-0. What is that about? And then them 4-0 up trying to keep possession was bizarre. It was bizarre. I didn't like it. Honestly, this last couple of weeks, I feel like I've gone to sleep and I've woken up in like a completely different dimension. You know, all this stuff with the Super League and all that bollocks, and then this with Burnley winning 4-0 and stuff like that. If Spurs win a trophy today, that will be the tipping point for me. I want to stop this world and get off, because what on earth is going on? Next, you'll tell me that Everton are going to finish in the top four or something. What is going on? It's baffling me. Bobby Barron saying stinker of a game so far. It really is. I can't lie. I had a late night last night doing dissertation work and whatever. And at the end of that second half, you probably could tell on the stream, my eyes were feeling so heavy. Literally so heavy. And I was like, I'm struggling to stay awake for you guys. So you better smash that like button and share this and subscribe to Mundo Sporto, because you're keeping me up for this stream. You really are. So there we go. Let's have a look. Any Liverpool protest plans? I've not been on Twitter much the last couple of days, so I'm not sure, mate. There was, of course, one the other day before the game between Liverpool and Newcastle. But I'm not sure. There was obviously that news yesterday that Liverpool have, FSG have had a couple of bids. One specific one I saw was a £3 billion bid before the Super League stuff. It's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, we're probably at our maximum now, I'd say, that FSG would make for us. And with all this happening, would they be slightly, you know, would they kind of be thinking about selling us now? Potentially. And, you know, I don't think I can ever forgive them. There's a couple of things they've done. I looked past them with the whole trying to trademark Liverpool and stuff like that, which goes against, everything the club stands for, everything the city stands for, everything us as supporters stands for. There was the furlough thing as well. There's the fact that I think part of this season has been down to them not backing Jurgen Klopp enough. And then the Super League for me is the final straw. I think that's an unforgivable act. And we've seen the same with Spurs. We've seen their protest this week. We've seen Arsenal against Kroenke. Yesterday, the one from United against the Glazers, which, as I say, a few of my mates, I live in Manchester, and a few of my mates were there. I think there are a lot of issues in football right now, and there will be protests that continue against these billionaire owners. But for me, a route that really needs looking at is that 50+1 ruling. And for me, that would be a really, really good thing to introduce into the English game. And I'd be a big fan of it. Salah season saying, where do you live? Well, I've been all over the shop, really. My dad is from Bangor. He was born in Bangor, which is North Wales, of course. Growing up for him in North Wales, he said it was either Liverpool or United. He picked Liverpool. He's brought me up as a Liverpool fan. I was born in Birmingham, and I'm at uni in Manchester, so that's where I'm at now. Been all over the shop. But yeah, that's me. That's my life story. Nobody asked really though, did they? So I don't know why I told you that. Yeah, this is content. Jose Mourinho has just called me a wanker. Thank you, Jose. Cheers to that. Arjun Sandhu thinks 50+1. Be a big fan of that. So it's 0-0. We're about to start the second half. Spurs will kick us off for the second half. And here we go. We are underway for the second half. And for the second time in this game, I have pressed the clock at the right time. So, pat on the back. I've managed to do that. If you watch every time I do videos on Mundo Sporto, you can guarantee that usually at some stage or the other, I forget a clock. And of course, there's still time for that. This game may go to extra time. If Spurs last that long, that in itself would be an achievement. Give them a fake plastic trophy if they can last to extra time, because they were very, very much under the cosh in the first half. They really were. City played some lovely football and we're just missing that final end product, really. But here we go. Eric Dyer to Toby Alderweireld, who plays it over the top to Aurier. And Tottenham starting with the ball in the second half when they didn't really touch it much in the first, did they? But they lost it there, but they've won it back. Here's Harry Kane, who switches it over to the left. Heung-min Son. Now, can he cause problems for City? Son to Højbjerg. Over to the right-hand side where Aurier is. Aurier. To Lucas Moura. Lo Celso, who puts it onto his left and looks for the goal. And did Steffen get a hand to that? I think he did. A good save from Zach Steffen after a good effort from Giovanni Lo Celso. He put it onto his left foot and thought, why not? And tried to curl it into that bottom corner. And I tell you what, it was going in. It's a good save in the end by Zach Steffen, the American man between the sticks for City. The City number 2. And a lovely effort from him. The man who's playing in the absence of Ndombele. Spurs now have a corner. Whipped in by Heung-min Son. And that's a good ball, and City somehow deal with it. And Sterling breaks. City look to counter. They've got men piling forwards. Spurs have 4 back. Sterling's pass is just behind Foden, and that slows the game down a bit. But here's Mahrez now. Plays De Bruyne in on the right-hand side. He puts it onto his left and looks to fire. But Spurs win the free kick. It looks like De Bruyne caught. The language barrier fools no one there. As I've read some real expletives there from... who is that? I think it's Lo Celso. It's either Lo Celso or Reguilon. Oh, it's Reguilon. No, it is Lo Celso. Lo Celso, who proceeds to call Kevin De Bruyne a wanker. And clearly, no matter where you're from, Spurs with a free kick now. Lloris will take it. that. I think that sums up what this game has been like for me. That has been the most entertaining part of this game for me. It genuinely has. The fact that I've just seen Lo Celso say that to Kevin De Bruyne. I think that sums up this first 48 minutes of this Carabao Cup final. I think it really does. Elevator Kid saying that shot on target will give Spurs confidence. Get them a trophy for it, mate. Why not? You know, they got a shot on target in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. Fair play, confidence, pat on the back. Fair play to Celso, Spurs hero, Spurs legend. City now with a ball at the back again. Laporte to Ruben Diaz. Diaz over the top to João Cancelo, who then looks in beyond the Spurs defence towards Raheem Sterling, but it's hit too hard. And the World Cup winner, Hugo Lloris, who is captain for club and country, is able to collect, and he slows the game down even more and looks for options close to him, but decides to hoof the ball long in the end and lose possession for Spurs. What a waste of time that was, as it runs into the hands of Zach Steffen in the end. Here is Aymeric Laporte, Ilkay Gundogan, Phil Foden, João Cancelo on the left-hand side, the Portuguese fullback. You can play on either the right or left. We've seen him play both this season for Manchester City. Dylan Popel says he thinks it'll be 1-1 with Spurs winning on pens. Interesting, back in Spurs. Fair play. I would bet my house on City winning this. I really would. But as I say, the best thing about football is anything could happen. And that's why we love the game so much. As Harry Kane switches the play to Serge Aurier on the right-hand side. Chelsea TV says City score its goodbye. Completely agree. The game would well and truly be in their hands if they managed to get a goal here. And there is Winks, who looked for Aurier, but that's a poor pass. And Spurs really haven't been good on the ball today at all. And Laporte to Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan to Ruben Diaz. Imagine the fans that have waited all this time to go back to the football. And then this snooze fest is their first game back. Nah, to be fair, I'd take anything. I'd take Burnley, Sheffield United at this point. Ball in behind. Oh, I thought that was a good opportunity for City there. But the ball in behind, once again, the final ball for City, letting them down as it runs out for a Tottenham goal kick. Bottle Bridge says, if a Spurs player scores, he will cry. He'll be like, I am a legend now. Imagine Serge Aurier gets himself on the score sheet, becomes a Spurs legend. Eric Dyer automatically become a legend of the club if you score in this Carabao Cup final. They don't make many of them, do they, Spurs? And as I say, today they're after their first trophy since 2008, which was a League Cup win. They then reached the final the year after and played Manchester United. They lost on penalties, I believe. I think I remember anyway. If I've made this up, I'm an absolute weirdo, but I think I remember Ben Foster in goal for Manchester United at that time, saving from the spot to win United the Carabao, well, what was the Carling Cup back then. See, I may be young, but I know my stuff. That's if I've not made that up completely. I really need someone to check that for me, because if I've just made that up, then I really question myself. But here are Spurs. Spurs look to attack now as here it comes Harry Kane. The Spurs striker, Lo Celso. Back to Harry Kane. Harry Kane looks to cut inside, but it's too easy for Cancelo there to tackle the England captain and the Spurs striker. And here comes Phil Foden. Back to Fernandinho. Here's Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker plays it forwards to Mahrez. Mahrez cuts inside, still going. Lovely from Mahrez, and it's blocked in the end by Dyer. And that takes all the pace off the ball, and it's easy for Lloris. But there again, City breaking forwards with fluidity, pace, and style. And Mahrez really causing Reguilon problems. There, he turns him inside out. He turns him. Reguilon has absolutely no idea where Mahrez is going there. He's sent him. He's gone to him. Look, go and get me a hot dog. Fernandinho fouled there, just inside the Spurs half. The Spurs, I think, are about to find themselves under the cosh again for the next 5-10 minutes. Have they ever not been under the cosh in this game? No. Dylan Popel says, where do you think West Ham will finish at the end of the season? Above Liverpool and just outside the top 4, in my opinion. Sterling with the effort. I think that took a deflection. Or was that just a poor effort from Sterling? It's genuinely, well, some lucky man in Rose Ed at Wembley has gone to, no, it's not took a deflection. And some lucky man in Rose Ed of Wembley who's gone to his first game in a long time has got a memory to take away with him, as that effort from Sterling will have probably smacked him in the head. A poor effort from a player who has been out of form recently, Sterling, hasn't he? He seems low on confidence, Sterling. Kane, Son. Anyone want to play chess or anything? And I'll watch you do that instead, because this game is not the most appealing on the eye. Spurs wasting possession there once again, and City come again. But they waste possession now and give Spurs a throw inside the City half. Let's have a look. Tommy Palo 5 says Sterling or Rashford. I think Sterling is a better player overall, but Rashford is in better form. I think that's fair enough to say. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. All the way around now goes back to Hugo Lloris. Guys, remember to share this, please, on social media. Remember to like and subscribe to Mundo Sporto if you haven't already. This channel, of course, you may have seen Craig Holden, who you'll recognise as well from Anfield Agenda. And me and him tend to take it in turns with these watch-alongs. Unfortunately, this one hasn't been an entertaining one for me today. I'm trying to make it as entertaining as possible, but it's been absolutely shite. And the worst part is there's still at least 34 minutes left. But here's De Bruyne. Can they bring this game into life? Please, just somebody score. As Sterling finds Cancelo, who looks to pull it across. Too easy for Lloris at his near post again. Mark Lilly agrees with me. He says shite game. Elevator Kid says boring game. Mithy says, come on, Spurs. Just please, someone score. But I worry that if someone scores, it'll make one side even more defensive. So, you know, just clearly both sides. Well, I think it's more the case of Spurs desperate not to lose or not to concede about 50 here. And City really missing a recognised striker as Kane now looks to attack for Spurs. He finds Son. Those two, what a pairing they've been. Record-breaking pairing, actually, this season. Combining on so many occasions from Spurs. Where would they be without them two? Harry Winks. Lo Celso back to Harry Winks. Shock inclusion, perhaps, today from Ryan Mason. Harry Winks. Addison Taramani says City can't score to save their lives. Yeah, that's what makes me think in recent weeks that PSG will beat them, because, you know, I think Mbappe and Neymar may be too much for Manchester City's defence. And I think recently they just can't seem to score. But nonetheless, City do look strong. And their build-up play is beautiful to watch, it must be said. They play some lovely football, City. Simple, but effective. I am honoured. Someone's just called me a B-Tech Goldbridge. So I'll take it. I mean, I never watched a Mark Goldbridge video in my life, but I've seen some very good people get called BTEC Goldbridge, so I'll take that as a good thing. David O'Donovan saying, "What's your favourite drink on a night out?" Oh, it depends on the night. Oh, I could talk to you about this. I could talk to you about this for the rest of the game. I love a good gin and tonic. You know, I'm a sucker for a gin and tonic, and I have no shame in saying it. You know, there's so many different kind of gins. You can mix it up. There's a booking, by the way. Spurs looking to counter again, but City over the years and Fernandinho over the years has been so good at this, hasn't he? You know, when you play a side that plays counter-attacking football, to have a man like Fernandinho who likes to break up play, make fouls like that, he does it a lot, Fernandinho, and he's been penalised for that. It's his first one of the day, to be fair, and he's gone in and he's got a yellow card for it. He becomes the second City man in the book. But yeah, I'm a sucker for a G&T. I just love alcohol. I love tequila and lemonade. Pour tequila, lemonade, lime, squeeze the lime in it, lime juice. Wow. Honestly, tequila is unreal. Oh, but City win the ball back deep in Spurs half again. It's Aurier who concedes possession this time, but the Spurs right back does really, really well actually to recover and defend well. Well, the fans seem to be enjoying themselves anyway. It doesn't matter whether it's a shite game or not. These fans have waited so long to be back in stadiums. I'd give anything to be back in a stadium right now. My last game was one of the last games with full stadiums. I was at Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. What horrible last game to have been at. I'd have loved to have a win as my last game, but unfortunately it was difficult circumstances in a night that I went through so many different emotions. When Firmino scored, I fully expected us to go on and go through, but Atleti went on to break our hearts in the end, and here is Mahrez. Mahrez whips the ball in towards Gundogan, and I think the flag may have gone up anyway, but the German heads over. Gundogan, City's top goal scorer this season. Mark Lilly asking how I get a ticket. I'm in the Auto Cup scheme, mate. I've been going for years. I'm lucky enough, you know, I may not be from Liverpool, but I still get tickets. I don't do as well in getting Premier League tickets, but I go to every home cup game that we get, and I try and do a few home league games in the season and the odd away, because I can sometimes get tickets to aways, but I don't go to aways often because it's like gold dust getting them tickets. But yeah, to be fair, as the years go on, Premier League tickets have got so much harder to get. So, you know, in recent years, I've only ever been able to go to like a couple of Premier League games, but every Champions League game at home, every cup game I've been able to go to. So yeah, I'm quite lucky in that respect. Here is Raheem Sterling, who cuts in from the left-hand side. Ruben Diaz. Here is Kyle Walker. Who is worse, Adrian or Karius, says Elevator Kid. What kind of question is that? That's like asking which one of your mates. Nah, that's like asking if you'd rather eat shit or drink piss. What kind of question is that? No. Kane roams forward the ball. He finds Højbjerg. Real chance for Spurs. What is that? I don't think we're ever going to see a goal here, gents and ladies, of course. What on earth was that? And things could go from bad to worse for Spurs, because not only have they had to witness that, it's not even comical, that Harry Kane roamed forwards with the ball. He goes over to Højbjerg, who did really well to stay on side. And he could have got a shot underway with his first foot, but he tries to find, bearing in mind he's in the box, he tries to find Reguilon on his overlap. Reguilon, who is behind him, by the way. And Højbjerg, Spurs' best chance completely wasted there. And Spurs now and Lucas Moura concede a free kick, and I don't think it warrants João Cancelo rolling around about 50 times on the floor. It was something of nothing that. Actually, no. That's a bit nasty. It's one of them where it just catches the back of the Achilles with his studs. And, you know, again, I wouldn't be rolling around about 50 times, but it hurts. I'll tell you that one for free. Yes, what an option that is to be able to bring on Gareth Bale. You know, once you have that ability, you never lose it. And, you know, I know in recent years, Gareth Bale has been more about what handicap he can get rather than his ability on a football field. But you just know, don't you? Just like in Kiev, which breaks my heart talking about it. So if I start crying, please just bear with me. But no, he was phenomenal that day, didn't he? Wasn't he? You know, he showed his class. And you never lose that. And at times this year for Spurs, he's shown that he's still got that ability. David O'Donovan says, any hangover cure? Hangover cure. Milkshakes. I love a milkshake when I'm hungover because apparently sugar's really good when you're hungover. So milkshakes, orange juice, things like that. That's my go-to. There you go. Somebody asking how old I am. I'm 21, 22 at the end of July, mate. Bale incoming. Yep, we will see Gareth Bale soon. I wonder who he'll come on for. Maybe Harry Kane. We saw him on the floor before with an injury. We know he wasn't fully fit going into this game, but surely they won't take him off this early on in a Carabao Cup final. I think Ndombele is coming on as well. So Spurs bringing on the big boys. I believe you can make 5 subs in the Carabao Cup, can't you? So maybe that was part of Ryan Mason's team selection today. Maybe his aim was to keep it at 0-0 with this long left and bring on players like Bale and Ndombele. Vodka with pepper in it. Is that a hangover cure? To be fair, I do love a good old hair of the dog. You can't be waking up at like 10 in the morning thinking my head is killing. What day is it? Oh, it's a Sunday. Let's have a bevy. Can't beat it. Or waking up and you've got your drink from last night next to you. You've got like a glass of red or, you know, like a G&T next to you, and you're just thinking, yeah, I love that. It's Gareth Bale and it's Sissoko. Sorry, I got the wrong number. My numbers must be wrong here. Sissoko and Gareth Bale coming on, and Lucas Moura, who has looked bright at times. I think at times he's tried to start a counter attack for Spurs, but he's been unlucky on a couple of occasions. City have been quick to hack him down and make what I call a tactical challenge to break up counter attacks. And Sissoko will make his way on for Giovanni Lo Celso as well. Full English does the trick. Yeah, smart Lily. I've not had a full English for a while. I had a few drinks last night when doing some dissertation. Well, I tried, you know, when you start night and you think, I'm going to do work, and then it gets to 7 o'clock and you're like, oh, it's a Saturday. I'm going to have one drink. That'll get me through the work. And then it gets to about 9 o'clock and you can't stop and the work goes away. So, yeah, and this morning I woke up and I was craving a KFC. So that was my lunch today. But yeah, again, I don't know. I'm telling you my life story. But here we go. João Cancelo on the left for City with the ball at his feet. Ilkay Gundogan now to Fernandinho. Fernandinho to Gundogan. Back again to De Bruyne. City. I wonder how long it'll be before we see Sergio Aguero. That'll be something, wouldn't it? You know, if Sergio Aguero can help City to their 4th consecutive Carabao Cup victory on his final year at the Citizens. Let's have a look. Bottlebridge says, I thought Man City was going to win 5-0. Very disappointed in them today. Yeah, they just don't have a goal scorer, do they? You know, they play without a recognised striker. So, you know, the final product hasn't been there. You know, they had a lot of opportunities in the first half, but their end product has been non-existent this afternoon. Here is Mahrez now to Kevin De Bruyne, who whips a ball in. Not the greatest of deliveries from the Belgian, and it's out for a goal kick to Spurs. Let's have a look. Anyone else in the comments? Is this again? No, they're just showing a replay. I tell you what, you can tell this has been a poor game by the fact that Sky have just shown that as a replay, because that is a collector's item in that it was a poor delivery from Kevin De Bruyne. Right idea, but poor execution. And you can tell how little highlights we have from this first 70 minutes of the game that Sky thought, you know what, we'll show you that again. My brother's in the comments. He says Villa's on later. Nobody cares. Cube says, how's the game been? Snooze fest aren't the words, mate. I think I may need to go to bed after this. Here is Kyle Walker now on the right-hand side for Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne. Can City show that bit of class to get themselves in the lead here at Wembley? Because I can't bear extra time, to be honest with you. Not if it's like this. But it's headed behind for a City corner. Here is Phil Foden on the left-hand side. Phil Foden whips it in from the corner. Ruben Diaz gets his head to it. Headed away by Højbjerg. Mahrez. Whipped in by De Bruyne. That's a better ball in by him, and Fernandinho's there at the back post with a strong header. But it's a relatively easy save in the end for the Spurs captain, Hugo Lloris. Yeah, that's better from De Bruyne. A lovely cross. That's more like him. But easy in the end for Lloris to save from Fernandinho. And Fernandinho there tackling Kane quite well. And Sergio Reguilon on the left-hand side finds Højbjerg. Do Spurs have something in them? Can they produce a shock here? Højbjerg. One thing I will say about City, and I know I said it before in this stream, you know, they are a side where I dread them signing a top striker in the summer. You know, imagine them with a Harry Kane, a Haaland, someone like that. They would be almost perfect. You know, you'd struggle to find weaknesses if they brought in a top striker, wouldn't you? You really, really would, because that's all they're missing this season. Someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, someone who can take half chances. You know, you've seen it at times with Mahrez and De Bruyne, who are capable of scoring wonder goals, but if they had a class out-and-out striker, they'd be so dangerous. As Sterling pulls it across, and there's Gundogan, their top goal scorer. And I thought we had the first goal of the game there. He hits it first time on the volley, but it goes wide. Very, very close from Manchester City. And I thought İlkay Gundogan had broken the deadlock there. And I think that sums up Manchester City today. You know, build-up play, perfect, creating loads of chances. It comes down to the end product, wasted. You know, so yeah, that for me is perfect. Perfectly sums up this performance from Manchester City today. Mark LFC UK says 162 minutes into 2 Mundo Sporto games and no goals. Yep, it really is dry, isn't it? But as you can see from the attempts, 15 attempts for Manchester City today, 2 for Tottenham. And on target, City have only had 2. 2 of their 15 on target and 1 for Spurs. And it's clear what they need in the summer, isn't it? And it pains me to think that. And it shows just how important this summer is for teams like Liverpool, teams like Spurs, who are looking to be up there fighting. Again, and there's Mahrez. What? Kept out by Lloris. A really good save. And it's gone out for a corner. But Mara's there causing Spurs problems. No one could get near him. He put it onto his favoured left foot. Holds Spurs players off. They all avoiding him like the plague. And then he curls an effort towards goal. And it's a strong right glove from Hugo Lloris. The ball's whipped in from the corner. And that's really good defending, actually, as it's headed into Fernandinho and out for a goal kick. Let's have a look. Pat Kelpie says, bring on Bale. I don't know where you've been, mate, but he's already on. He's forgotten his clubs today, though. Addison thinks Spurs will win it last minute. The amount of chances City have missed, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm looking at their bench. No signs of Aguero or Jesus getting ready to come on yet. Pep Guardiola waiting it and waiting it. But will he leave it too late? Here's Mahrez, who had that lovely chance before but was denied by Hugo Lloris. Excuse me. I've got bloody hiccups. Here is Harry Winks. Reguilon. Harry Winks, who may have thought his Spurs career was over. He was a man who has found himself out of the Spurs squad on many occasions this season. Not one that's been too admired by Jose Mourinho, but clearly Ryan Mason is a fan of Winks. And it's come at a decent time for Winks. Can he get himself in Southgate's mind ahead of the Euros? Macy Magic thinks Liverpool will finish in the top 4. Fat chance of that, mate. Anthony Davis said, I watched the Wolves-Burnley game. There was 4 in that one. I should have done that one, shouldn't I? Carrier Bag Cup final or Wolves versus Burnley. Who'd have bloody thought it, eh? But I do seem to get a lot of these. I say every time I do Manchester City games that I need to stop doing City because I only ever have good... I've done so many City games. For some reason, I seem to get a lot of City games on this channel and they're all shite. And then... You know, I've done Everton Spurs in the Cup, in this competition actually, where it finished 5-4. I did the mad Juventus Porto game. That's probably my favourite on this channel. And, you know, I need to stop doing City ones, really. But Spurs still within a chance here at Wembley as the game remains 0-0, despite City being very dominant. They've caused Spurs a lot of problems, but haven't forced Hugo Lloris into making too many saves. There's been a couple of good saves from the World Cup winner, but City will have wanted to threaten him more. Let's have a look. Liverpool only have United, then should be games we should be winning. Newcastle is a game that we should be winning, but look at that. Leeds is a game we should be winning, but look at that. It doesn't matter about ability this season with Liverpool because our biggest issue this season has been ourselves. You know, it's been which Liverpool turns up. That's been our biggest problem all season. So, yeah, I just can't see us doing it. I really can't because I think we'll drop more points than the other teams around us. Because that's what it's been this season. It's been who'll drop the most points. We're not. We haven't been one of the best 4 teams in the league this season. We don't deserve top 4. It's as simple as that. Now the ball has been put out by Kyle Walker with Reguilon down injured and a potential worry for Spurs here maybe. Though I think he might just be rolling around for the sake of it. Let's have a look. Well, I'm surprised the ref didn't give a foul for that, to be fair. Walker seemed to push him off the ball. The referee deemed it to be fair, though. But Reguilon is back on his feet, and I think he'll be able to play on. Big Boris says, I smell extra time in this game. Please, Lord, no. Another half an hour of this. Get me a coffee. Or a Red Bull. Or both. Messi or Ronaldo. Dylan Pope. Popple. Popple, Pope. Popple. Can I read? Popple. Messi. Messi is the GOAT. I'm a Big fan of Ronaldo as well. I think he is an alien too. I hate comparing because I think, I think both should be respected. They are two of the best players the game has ever seen, and they both need respect. I feel like both of them are harmed by people that are fans. So you get lots of people who are true Messi fans, and they're like, nah, Ronaldo, ha ha ha, when he misses a penalty or whatever. But no, respect them both. They're two incredible players. They've been the best two players in the world for, the last 10 years or so. More than. They're incredible footballers. And they both should be respected. But for me, Messi slightly pips it, and he's just unreal. He's so good to watch. He's so good. And you've seen with his goals and assists this year at 34 years old, he's still got it, mate. He's still got it. There's a reason why Barca are so desperate to keep hold of him, because that man is everything for them. And, there's loads of rumours linking him to Manchester City if he does decide to leave Barca, and I couldn't cope with that because he's a phenomenal footballer. He really, really is. Here's Sissoko as Spurs up to break on the counter-attack. Harry Kane whips the ball over the top towards his mate Son. Oh, there you go. There's a few people asking about extra time. There is extra time because it's the final. Malcolm Wayne says, Zzz. I hope that's not me that you're zzing at. I hope you're enjoying the stream still, but it is a boring game, so I'm sorry. I do pick the games, but I was hoping for a more lively affair in this Carabao Cup final. It's not been the greatest of games. It's really not. It's been an absolute snooze fest. And to be honest, if I could turn the game off and just chat with you lot, I would. But that's not my job. So here we go. João Cancelo, someone please score and put everybody watching out of our misery, please. Here is Riyad Mahrez. Foden clips it over to the left-hand side where João Cancelo is. Cancelo whips the ball in. Dyer away. Højbjerg winks. Laporte, brings it down on his chest, and Spurs haven't got the ball away from danger. Let's have a look. And Sterling attacks on the right-hand side. Inglesey 001 says, what about Messi for 2 seasons at Liverpool? There is no chance that happens. But if it was, get me that box of tissues and some baby oil, and my night is sorted. In fact, the 2 years is sorted. Done. Dusted. Easy work. But I'd probably also wake up and realise that I was dreaming. Dylan Popel seems to agree with me. And I can see City preparing to bring on Rodri, and I think it'll be for Fernandinho, and I think the plan will be, Fernandinho, an aging player, he's got that yellow card. Spurs looking to counter City. Oh, and there's the goal. There is the goal, and it's Aymeric Laporte. City lead. And it looks like they will be getting their 4th consecutive Carabao Cup victory. Their names will be on that trophy again, a trophy that they love, a trophy that Pep Guardiola loves. And it's come from a free kick from the left-hand side. Laporte doing some mad dance with his hands. I don't know what that celebration's about. That's embarrassing. Take the goal off him. But the ball's whipped in from the left from Kevin De Bruyne, and he just gets above Sissoko. He does a run, and Spurs doing zonal marking, and it's not worked for them. Sissoko there, not aware, and Laporte has the momentum to get above Sissoko and to direct the header into the far corner. Højbjerg tries to block it on the line but can't, and that looks like the match winner in this Carabao Cup final. And it goes to the Frenchman, Aymeric Laporte. And that's not I'm Eric Laporte. Aymeric Laporte. And he looks to have won the Carabao Cup final for Manchester City. For all their possession, for all their chances, for all their passes, City have been rewarded. And it's the man that has been the forgotten man maybe for City for a lot of this season. One of the best centre-backs in the Premier League in the last couple of years. Second, of course, to our mate Verge. But with Diaz coming in and Stones coming into form, he's found himself have a lot less game time this season, Laporte. But, I mean, he may have put him and City now in the perfect position. They lead with 7 minutes left on the clock by 1-0. They will sit back and Spurs will have to come out now and attack. And Spurs have held on and held on and held on. But they couldn't see the game out. And City, as many expected, now lead by 1-0. And Spurs have reacted to it by bringing on Dele Alli for Højbjerg. But Spurs fans look distraught. They were hoping to end their wait for a trophy since 2008. That was the last time they won a trophy. They won this competition at Wembley. But here, they've come so close. They've held on, but not for long enough. And Laporte is the man who has headed City in front at Wembley. And De Bruyne, can he make it too and put the game to bed? Great block all the way around. He's been good today, hasn't he, for Tottenham? And there's Reguilon to get it away. I haven't changed the scoreboard, but there you go. Josh Kelly says, Sissoko, GOAT. I'm not sure what he was doing with his defending there, to be honest with you. But Spurs now find themselves really open at the back. And can Sterling make it to him? Really put the game to bed? No. It's blocked by Alderweireld, and City's advantage stays at just the one. But this is what you find now. Spurs have had to open up. They've had to go more free-flowing. They've had to come out and start attacking Manchester City after conceding late on in this final. And by the way, it was Fernandinho that Rodri came on for City. But here come Tottenham. Aurier on the right. Can they get something? Can they force extra time out of this? Bale, will he hit it? No, he finds Son. Son's got Reguilon on his overlap. He finds Reguilon. He looks to get it across. It's a weak cross. To be fair, it was a poor pass from Son. He was always on the stretch there, Reguilon. But Spurs now have a throw. Can Spurs get back into this? Can they get something and force extra time out of this game? And it will be De Bruyne who makes way for Bernardo Silva now for City, who are leading this. As I say, Pep Guardiola looks to become the first man to win 4 Carabao Cups. The first manager, that is. City looking to do it for the 3rd consecutive time. They will be record breakers. The only side to have done it, other than this City side, if they manage to hold on here, is Liverpool. Between 1981 and 84, it's been their competition of recent years, and if they can hold on here, the hosts, they will join Liverpool at being the all-time most winners of this competition, with 9. City and Liverpool will be tied, as I just said, if City can hold on here for the last 3 minutes plus stoppage time. And Spurs have never really looked like scoring. As there was a comment earlier, they probably celebrated the shot on target they had earlier. It's been a quiet game for Zach Steffen between the sticks. Kane fought back from injury, to be fit for this one. But he's had little effect on the game. An interesting question from Bottlebridge. If Jose Mourinho was still the coach, this would have been different. And I have to say, I do agree, because, you know, he's a born winner, Mourinho, isn't he? He wins trophies. And I wonder what would have happened if he was in charge. You can't say for sure, of course, but I think you'd have seen a more spirited performance maybe from Spurs, but there hasn't been much from them today at all. And City deserve the win, really. They've been so dominant. They've been wasteful with their chances. And they put the corner in with 2 players in the box. And Laporte still was the first man to get to it. So, mad. City regain possession again in their own half and they go again. I think they're more likely to score a second than Spurs get back into this. As Bernardo Silva finds Mahrez on the right-hand side. Will they go to the corner flag or will they try and get a second? Bernardo looks to pull it across. Dyer heads away. Mahrez now. Here is Mahrez. I'm surprised they're not going towards the corner, Manchester City. I mean, I think that shows how confident they are that Spurs aren't scoring. They play some lovely football, don't they, Manchester City? So good at keeping the ball. Those little intricate passes, pass, move, pass, move, pass, move. They're a delight to watch, they really are. And they have to go down as one of the greatest English sides of all time, in my opinion. Certainly in the Premier League era. You know, with what they've won, with how they play, the points tallies, the records they've broken. I know they've spent a lot of money and I'll criticise them for that too, but what a side. And this is their competition. They love it, don't they, Manchester City? I remember myself being at Wembley a few years ago, a long time ago now actually, when Spurs, sorry, not Spurs, I've rubbed it in a bit there, when City beat Liverpool on penalties to win the Carabao Cup under Pellegrini, I think that was. It was a horrible game that was as well. I don't know actually whether that one was worse than this one. No, I think this one was worse. But here comes City again. Mahrez, there'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time here. Here is Bernardo Silva. Back to Mahrez. Mahrez again. Bernardo Silva again on the right-hand side. Haroun keeps spanning with question marks, mate. I don't know what your question marks are about. So if you could tell me rather than just spamming with question marks, that would be helpful. Here is João Cancelo now, who finds Gundogan. Gundogan to Foden. Foden to Rodri. Spurs just can't seem to get a touch to the ball right now as Gundogan plays through Foden, who could have gone down there, but we've seen that a lot with Foden. You know, he likes to stay on his feet, doesn't he? He could have gone down there, gets a penalty, put the game to bed. But no, he stayed on his feet and tried to put the ball in the back of the net. And here comes Spurs. Sissoko, Bale. Steven Bergwijn tries to get there but can't, and now City are on the ball. And with 2 minutes left of stoppage time, I think they'll just try and keep it. But they come again. Sterling makes Alderweireld dance, but Alderweireld actually in the end does manage to win the ball back for Spurs, and Spurs are running out of time. It's booted forward by Lloris, wasted by Lloris, and City have the ball again. Son and Kane up top for Spurs look so frustrated. They've had next to none of the ball today at all, and Spurs have been really poor. They have. And whether that's just because City have played them off the park and been very, very good, or whether Spurs have just been Spurs, that I'll leave that up for you to decide. Let's have a look at any comments. Addison says that I'm the GOAT. I don't think I am, but I'll take it. Cheers, Addison. Bottlebridge says Kane would have had a Ballon d'Or if he was in a better team. I think he will leave Spurs, or I think he'll hand in a transfer request at the end of the season with no idea who will be the Spurs manager, with him entering the peak of his career. With him being as good as he is, he has to look for a move to a top club. And if he has to move outside the Prem to do that, he needs to. Because for me, Harry Kane should be playing in the Champions League. He should be playing in the latter stage of the Champions League. He should be winning trophies. He's a top striker. Up there with the best in the world. He really is. Incredible goal scorer. And City keeping the ball still. There's 20 seconds left. They are going to have their name engraved in that trophy once again. They may as well call it the Manchester City Cup, with how it's been in recent years. They love winning it, don't they? And it looks like they're going to do it again. Pep Guardiola will become the fourth man to do it. And they have made it two. The flag is up. I did expect it to go up. But it was one of them where it's a late flag. They waited for the ball to end up in the back of the net before the linesman rose his flag. And yes, the replay shows that Phil Foden is offside. The ball whipped forwards. One last chance for Spurs, maybe. No. The full-time whistle is blown. And I suppose the positive for Spurs is at least they'll have some kind of trophy to put in that dusty cabinet of theirs that Durex loved winding them up about. But the quality of Spurs, well, sorry, again, an insult to Spurs. Sorry for that slip up. The quality of City shone through today. They are the Carabao Cup winners once again. Aymeric Laporte, the goal scorer, an unlikely goal scorer, just his second of the season. They have won yet another trophy. And I can see a player in tears there and being consoled by Gundogan. I think it's Harry Kane. And maybe a sign. He just wants to win trophies, doesn't he? Harry Kane. And the performance from Spurs today just wasn't good enough. City were brilliant with their build-up play. They could have had loads more, but they were wasteful with opportunities. And it was something out of nothing, really, in the end. A goal from a set piece, a free kick from the left-hand side. Laporte rose above Sissoko, and I can see Son in tears. Kane as well was being consoled by Gundogan. For Spurs players, they haven't got to this situation too often. I noticed that at the time, and I was hoping nobody else noticed. But yes, I did say Durex by accident. It was Dulux, wasn't it? Because it's the Dulux dog. But yeah, oops. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this stream. Sorry about the game. It wasn't the greatest game between Manchester City and Spurs today. City won the game by a 1-0. They did it with ease in the end. Spurs caused them next to no issues at all. This is Guardiola's competition. He's become the first manager to win this competition 4 times. It's a big, big record-breaking win for Manchester City. They join Liverpool as being the record winners of this competition. And Carabao may be the sponsors of City soon. With the amount of time City have won the Carabao Cup. I may have this wrong, but I don't think anyone has won the Carabao Cup since it's been named the Carabao Cup other than City. Am I wrong? I'm not sure. I think I'm right there. Somebody message me on Twitter if I'm wrong, because I've ballsed up if I have. But there you go. But that is the end. Before I go, I just remind you of our sponsors, OneFootball. Thank you for joining me for this stream. Remember to like, to comment and subscribe. And, you know what, click the bell for future videos. Because if we're doing a stream, you want to be here with us. But remember, go over and check out our sponsors, OneFootball. And if you don't know anything about OneFootball, here's a bit more about them now. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates. And it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it. So there we have it then. Manchester City Carabao Cup champions again. Not a thrilling game, a bit of a snooze fest. But I tell you what, football fans are the real winners from this game, because there was no extra time and we didn't have to endure another half an hour of that snooze fest. City are the Carabao Cup champions. I've got used to saying that over the last few years. Their first trophy this season, they look likely to win the Premier League too, and they're in the semi-final of the Champions League. So a good season for Manchester City, and this is the first trophy of what is likely to be at least 2 for them. They're only 6 points away from winning the league, of course. City are the winners. Spurs, well, what's going to happen to them next? without a manager. Obviously, they've got Ryan Mason in as a caretaker manager. What happens next for them? Players like Kane and Son, will they look for a move away in the summer? Uncertain times for Spurs, and a rebuild may be on the cards. Thank you for joining me for this stream. Check out OneFootball. Subscribe to Mundo Sporto. Subscribe to Anfield Agenda. And we shall see you very soon. Ta-ra.